New Year resolutions are a fun way to kick off January. To hear ours and to see if we actually stick to them, stay tuned to this episode of The Den.
The Den, powered by the Lyons Group, a show dedicated to exploring hot topics in real estate, local happenings, and industry trends. We're a small team of professionals approaching $400 million in sales and nearly 2,000 local transactions. You're listening to time-tested experts and industry leaders. Here's a refreshing look at real estate happenings and more. Welcome to The Den.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to this episode of The Den, and we're going to be talking about New Year's resolutions today. Can we stick to our resolutions? Are we even going to have any? But before I get to that, let me introduce my friends, my partners, my co-hosts, the fellow members of the Lyons Group. To my left, Paul, Hammy the Rockberry, Aspen the Ninja Groen, the boss, Shannon Martinez, and my name is Ben, New Year, New Me, Lyons, and I'm your host today. It's the same old me. I'm just a new version of the old version of me.
Right.
Yeah. So
it's a new year.
It's a new year. It's a new year. Paul, don't.
What the hell are you talking about?
He has no idea.
I'm a word pretzel guy.
You're winging it.
Yeah, I know, I'm winging it. I just
came up with this morning.
I did. And that's okay because we talk off the top of our heads and, keeps you sharp. You know me. So let's get right into it. We talked about resolutions a year ago. Do you remember what your resolutions are? Does anyone?
I don't even remember.
So then that was my thing too, because I started thinking about it. I'm like, what were my resolutions a year ago? I can't even remember what my resolutions are. So really, are resolutions meant to just kind of get you going on the right foot, or are you supposed to stick to them for the whole year? I don't know. Paul, what are your thoughts?
Well, I wasn't looking at you, so I don't know how this happened. I tried something new this year, and my thing was like attributes I want to have this year. So not like necessarily resolutions or changing my life in some way, but ways I want to think about myself or ways I want to be thought of by other people, ways I want to interact with people. So I just wrote out a long list of attributes that I aspire to, and hopefully I can keep it.
Yeah.
Because resolutions, I remember the episode we did, it was like by February we're going, well, maybe next year I'll do that, And then we talked about the difference between goals and resolutions. And I think I'm more of a goal setter, but I've gone towards living my life day by day as opposed to for the whole year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So give us, are you comfortable sharing, what attributes you want to change or you want people to see you as?
Well, I think some of them were being prepared for meetings, for conversations, a little bit more empathy, some compassion. I want to be well read, which I'm not right now. A little bit more intentional in what I do. Family oriented, those types of things.
Yeah.
Nothing groundbreaking.
So you didn't have any goals per se.
I still have goals, but those are not.
Yeah. But as far as the resolutions,
no.
You didn't weave in any goals.
No.
That's interesting. Did you do it the same way?
I actually did it different this year too. I didn't do that, but I love a New Year's resolution, and I put it on like a widget on my phone. So it's the first thing I see when I open my phone. It's the background of my computer. I'm very goal oriented. I think I've talked whenever I set work goals or anything, I write down like, who are my clients? What do they do? Like all kind of vision setting or, whatever you want to call it. This year, I actually saw something on TikTok that I really liked and was called the ins and outs. So it's basically saying what is in for you this year and what is out for you this year. So for me, we always say like, oh, I'm going to go to the gym and I'm going to work out, but then you don't do it by February. And then you're trying to, I didn't work out yesterday, so I need to work out twice. And that's just kind of a bad mindset, I think, to get in. So I'm doing, I'm going to focus more on my gut health. I think that's really important for your happiness and your endorphin levels. I want to complain less. So that's my out. So I did a long list of ins and outs. I'm a complainer. I love to complain. So that's kind of I just did a whole long list of things that I don't want to focus on anymore and things I do want to focus on anymore, and kind of the same for Paul. So then I'm making myself the person I want to be instead of setting this goal that if I don't, because if you don't hit your resolution, all you're doing is getting mad at yourself. So being a little bit kind to yourself and setting more vague goals, I'm going to try it out this year. I might be reverting back to the specific goals next year.
Yeah. So more vague, but more about who you are.
I don't want to, doom scrolling, being on my phone and just scrolling for hours. I need to stop that. It's gotten really bad this year, actually. And so that's something that I'm intentionally going to focus on. I don't mind being on social media or phones. I like that. It's fun, but there's no reason my screen time should be 9 hours.
Right.
I've intentionally cut back too. I've cut it in half already.
Yeah.
So
yeah, ins and outs. I like that. Shannon, have you kind of taken the same approach? Is it more of
I have. This is so interesting to me because I love what you guys are saying. This is exactly what I was talking to my husband about.
They're copying me.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I just agree. I'm just going to be Paul. I agree. No. It's very interesting because I was talking to my husband about this and I said, instead of doing, okay, I got to take off 10 pounds this year, I'm going to, make sure I'm up by 6 a.m. I'm going to, blah, blah, blah. I told him, I said, I just feel like the last couple of years I have really lost myself in just, just a lot of other things going on around me. And it's time to just focus on making me the person that I want to be. So it's funny that you two said that because that's exactly the line I was on. I want to turn in closer to focusing, making my relationship with my husband, my relationship with the Lord, getting back into church, doing the things that make me who I am, that define me as a person, that I have let go over the years. I kind of put those things on the back burner because they're always there. That's kind of like the cornerstone of my life, my family, my home. So it kind of goes on the back burner when you're putting out fires around, whether it's work or family or things going on around you. And I think maybe when I start focusing back on making me better and being intentional about putting me first and, just remembering who I am as a person, will hopefully let all those things fall back in line and bring me back to where I want to be. So it's nothing specific. It's more of taking care of me, taking care of my family, taking care of my marriage. I want to get back to doing a little bit of yoga and meditation every day and the things that really would set me off with a good mindset. I've put that on the back burner for a couple of years because I just haven't had time. I don't have time to go to yoga class. I don't have time. You don't have time for these things. But when you're not working on you and you're not taking care of you, how do you go out and take care of the rest of the world when you're not well? So mine's very general as well. It's not any one specific thing. It's being better about being who I am.
Well, on the hot yoga days, invite Paul, not me, because last time I went to hot yoga with you, I almost died.
I've made both of them go.
Yeah, you two go knock out the hot yoga.
I miss that. I miss having that release and that time for myself. And I really haven't given my time for myself in years. To do those things.
Well, it's easy to neglect, right? I mean, it's just like part of, we just take it for granted. Our foundational components, your spouse, your children, your health, starts becoming,
second
to the fires that you're putting out. Like you said, I mean, it's just immediate. I got to take care of these things to just get through the day and these things to get through the week. And then before you know it, a year has gone by and you look back and you're like, holy cow, like I've really neglected the everyday thing that I need, which is some fulfillment,
exactly,
or, a relationship that works well, that you have a spouse or a partner that is fulfilling for you, and then of course your relationships not only with yourself, with your immediate family, but with a higher spiritual power. And
I like what you're saying about, the just doom scrolling. One of the habits that me and my husband have is by the end of the day, we both retire. We're sitting in our chairs, the TV's on. It's something mindless. We're not really watching it. We're not watching it together. And I've got my laptop and I'm either, working on work or Pinterest or, talking to, somebody, or whatever. I'm doing my thing. And he's over there and he's doing the same thing. And he's, looking at his TikTok or, figuring out what to do with the chickens next or whatever, and that I've told him, how much time of our life are we wasting sitting next to each other, not connecting, not working on our marriage, not working on us. And it's not that we have a bad marriage. We don't. We have a great marriage, but we're like just existing next to each other. So sometimes I feel like we're just best friends.
It's like the roommate syndrome.
Yeah, exactly.
I was just telling that to
put the phone down.
Yeah, we played board games and
we used to do that
all the time, and we have not. We only do it when we have like friends over now.
Yeah. We used to keep a basket on our kitchen table, and it had a bunch of little wooden games to build things, and mind games, and the little peg things like that you see at Cracker Barrel, and Car Quest, little trivia questions, and Uno and things like that. And we would always sit down to dinner, and we would pull it out, and we would spend that time. We would have some dinner, and we would talk about our day, and nothing was on. The TV wasn't on, and we would play some games and just connect and laugh and whatever. And then when we got tired, whether it was 10 minutes or 2 hours, we get up and clean up the dinner dishes and move on. I can't remember the last time we've done that. It hasn't been since our kids have been in the house, and they're, grown and gone for years. So those are the kind of basics that I miss. Like I miss, stop wasting our time.
Yeah. I've seen that on
do
a lot
something
of people.
meaningful.
Simplicity. It's a lot. That's one thing I was talking to Paul about, because while I don't have specifics for like life necessarily, or me personally, when it comes to like work, and I do set goals for like things like that. Sure. And then I have a reading goal that I just always like to try and hit, because I've noticed I get off my phone and I'll read it then, at least because I'm more apt to put a book down than I am for my phone.
Right.
So I do set that, but it's nice to have a few specific things, but not something where you're going to be like punishing yourself. If you do it.
I mean, are you discounting togetherness altogether? I mean, because that is kind of enjoyable too at some point, at some level. I mean, it easily is abused, where everyone sits down and they're in front of their screen. But I do find some fulfillment in that with my kids and my wife, when we all sit down on the couch for, the last 30 minutes before, we start winding things down, and we laugh and we show each other funny, the girls are always showing me some funny trend or something. And I'm sending Moran a little, funny thing about a spouse or whatever. And she's
it's a fun part of life. Doesn't need to be a full-time job.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly. So that's the slippery slope.
Yeah.
Right?
It really is. It's so nice. What about you? Are you setting specific goals?
Don't be shallow now. We went deep.
Right.
Glass Joe, shallow. No, what's funny for our viewers is like, this is a topic that came up today. We decided we'd talk about it. None of us talked. So this is straight off the top. I did exactly, I'm in the same vein as all three of you.
That's crazy.
I did not set a single goal. I set some things that were very specific to me and how I want to feel and interact with this year. At the end of the year, how do I want to be able to look back and say, yeah, that was a quality that I wanted exhibited in my life, and I was able to do it. Now that's yet to be seen, but I'm in the same vein. It's pretty wild. That's why I was so fascinated with how you two came up with that. And then Shannon, right in the same line. And then, so maybe it's just a shift in society. We're looking more at
I think slowing down is becoming like a thing. Everyone's like, everyone is tired.
Exactly. It's easy to make a list of things you can do better. I'm going to, clean my house every day, or make my bed, or I'm going to, whatever. But really, where you're going to get satisfaction from is making meaningful changes in your life that aren't necessarily doing something every day. It's behaviors, or it's mantras, or it's your way of thinking, or it's just, like you said, attributes that you want to, you probably already have those attributes. It's time that you let people see them, or you practice them better,
or when you focus on them, that's when they come to the surface.
Right. I think that's so much meaningful than just making a list of to-dos. And by February, you're not doing them anymore.
Yeah.
I think I saw that last year. Was like, the person you want to be, you have to think, would this person that I want to be do this? Yes, they would. So I'm going to go try it. And just being mindful about your intentions, even if it's not every single day, just shifting it and not punishing yourself if you don't do it.
And I think allowing yourself to be whatever you're going to be that day. Like if you don't, we talked about this in the goal podcast. If you don't meet your goal, are you punishing yourself? Is a goal that's why we changed our success board from.
There was a failure board.
It was a horrible. All the percentages were low. We changed it to a success board, and it was the inverse.
Yeah.
But I think if you do things that are not negatives, like I have to do this or I didn't succeed, just be better. Just try to be better. Right. It's kind of like the 1% rule. If I'm better today, I'll be better tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Instead of having a guide or a plan of daily things to do, just have intentions set in a different motion, a different momentum towards something that you want or how you want to be.
Yeah. Because you can get so goal oriented that you can't even enjoy this conversation.
Yeah.
Right.
You're thinking about, well, I should be doing this because I've got to meet these deadlines or goals or whatever. And you're not in the moment.
It's always this like dance, this subtle dance, this balancing act of, being driven, but being able to be, deliver in the moment, but be focused, but also smell the roses. Like it's just this constant, balancing act that we have to do. So.
And one of the things that I think is important is as I grow up or as I get older, I have a different definition of success. And my definition of success changes minute to minute sometimes. So I think mine right now is a lot more just a feeling of, happiness. Everybody's healthy. There's no major drama in my life at the moment. So,
and as
I'm happy right now.
You better knock on some wood. Yeah,
no kidding.
No, and just for our viewers, he may look like he's grown up, but he's still got the emotional capacity of a 13-year-old. I mean, I think I'm 12, so I mean,
I'm getting better.
You're getting better.
I have to say the one thing I did tell myself I was going to do that was a little more specific was I decided that, and I know we've talked about this a lot, I've decided that I am going to be more intentional with work, being present, because we tend to, we work with our customers and we just get behind the scenes and we're just doing our thing. But I have really started to break out of my shell this last year and try to say, I'm going to do a few more, little videos, let people get to know me and see me and try to bring a little bit of value to people and be a little bit more present, because it's easy to get on autopilot with that as well and not nurture that and not stay connected with people and not bring value where you can bring value. So, that's really the only thing I think I set that was a little more specific, is saying, be more intentional about, bringing regular content to my social media, whether it's a video or whether it's just, some information to share, whether it's a graphic, whether it's a video, anything that might enhance somebody, share what I have to offer. And that's going to be my daily intention, that's probably the one thing I'm going to do that's going to be a to-do. And
mine is budgeting. I have a goal to retire early. And so I have a very strict budgeting goal,
right,
as I do every year. And that will not change that.
Yeah.
I feel like some things are.
Some things you have to put down and
I have the opposite one of you. I'm going to be less available this year. That's what I put, because
good for you.
Interesting.
I answer my phone within 10 seconds every single time, because it's always in my hand.
Yeah.
And I need to put it away, and I can call somebody back. It's okay. I don't need to, if I see a missed call, I just feel like the biggest piece of crap. And I'm like, that is not okay. So I'm going to be a little bit less available.
Right.
I'm going to take days off.
Yeah.
I said I was going to take every Sunday off this last year, and I did not.
Yeah.
I don't think I took any Sundays off.
People don't realize, we don't have those expectations of our accountant or of our doctor or any professional that we use. It doesn't matter what professional we use in our life. In any capacity, we don't have the expectation that I'm going to send a text or make a phone call and I will get an instant gratification from them. We don't do that, but we do it with realtors. And that starts with us changing that and just saying, yes, I can get back to you in 5 minutes, because right now I'm, I can't tell you how many times I'm bringing in groceries or something and my phone's hanging off and I'm like, I'm trying to get in the door. Why could I not have finished what I was doing and called them back from a professional standpoint?
And have a fully intentional conversation.
That's right. And be ready with my computer in front of me and, I'm sorry I missed your call. What is this I could do for you? And now I'm prepared to actually give back. But the need or the feel that I have to be responsive, that I have to take care of somebody right now, that is a really overwhelming burden that we carry around, that we do need to change that more. We can still be responsive and we can still take very good care of people, and find a balance with it.
Yep.
Yeah. And the people that respect your time and want to work with you are going to appreciate that.
Yeah. Yeah. They don't get that from any other professional in their life. Anywhere.
Unless you're 9 months pregnant.
Yeah, right.
The doctor better be
and
on
he
speed
better,
dial.
he better answer.
Unless Paul's the midwife. And then we got bigger problems.
I'll get my ketchup mitt out.
So you shared, you want to share more. I'm just thinking maybe we should go around the room. I have 3 versions of an intention that I want to achieve in 2025. So you shared, you want to share more of who you are on social media. Is that fair to say? Yeah.
And it's not necessarily that, I want to be out in front of everybody. It's just that I feel like, and you guys know this, over the last 10 years, I would say maybe neglected my business. I have a very good core of people that I work with. I work with mostly on referrals and things like that, but I really haven't been out there and present in front of the public. But I'm not saying, I have so much to offer, but I feel like, why am I not sharing the knowledge that I have or the skills that I have or the help that I have? And why am I not reminding the people within my sphere, that, hey, this is what I do, and be more approachable.
You did that mind shift, like 3 months ago?
I did. And it was
a huge
shift. Exactly. So that is something I want to keep up next year. It's not necessarily, I don't really care about the TikTok videos and trying to be funny or trying to catch attention, so it's not really about being on social media. It's more about, if you have something to offer, don't hide behind it. And that's something I've really done for a lot of years. I've just, been okay with the status quo, and I do my thing, and I kind of keep my head down, and I just work, and I don't do that. But, I really feel like I could add value to my life and to my clients' life and friends and family if I were a little more present and a little more sharing. And so go easy on me, because, we're going to get all the people on those that go, you talk funny and your hair looked bad and that was a terrible background.
She's the HOA queen.
Exactly.
They're really,
and I don't
really
care.
aren't that bad online. There's the few, and then you just block them.
Yeah.
And then it's okay.
Yeah.
But I like that sharing. I mean, share your journey, document your journey. People love to see that. I mean, there's an audience for that. People are fascinated by your
I think
journey.
It's also good for me too, because I think that I've spent so many years just kind of sitting. I found myself pushing myself more and more in the background, and it's time, to just be a little bit more intentional with everything and feel more confident in who I am. So that is going to be one thing I will be out there doing a little bit.
Love that. Aspen, you said you're going to be a little bit more intentional about being unavailable. And in other words, you're going to establish some more parameters around yourself. Explain that a little bit more.
I would say my biggest thing is I'm going to set a limit for my screen time. And I do have one, but then I just press ignore.
Right.
It's not that I'm not going to be responsive to people. I am, but I just think it's okay. I think for at least a little bit, it's like whenever I first started not wanting to be on my phone in the middle of the night, I had to put my phone in the kitchen. I had to just completely put it away. Now I don't. Now I keep it on my side table, but I do not touch it anymore at night whenever I'm sleeping. It just became a habit. So I think for a little bit, to break the habit of the doom scrolling, I'm going to have to just completely put my phone away while I'm doing other things. And then I will go back to it. Yeah. And then eventually, I'm sure I'll have it on me and you get a call. But I'm not sure if it's anybody else. But I get so many texts for like advertising, and I get so many spam calls that it's almost, I think I'm more overwhelmed from that. So I'm going to be unsubscribing from things, making sure I'm not getting it, blocking numbers. Yeah. Just because I've been kind of ignoring it because it's so overwhelming. So my phone should not be as big of a part of my life as it is. Right. So that's my biggest thing. I don't like that about me right now. So I think I'm also noticed I'm a little bit more snippy because I just want to like relax and calm down, and I need to just.
And you can't when it's buzzing constantly.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. You feel it constantly reactive. Yep. Like you constantly have to be on.
I heard something fascinating one time. It said you never break a habit, you just replace it. So if you can identify a habit that you do and replace it with something that's healthier, instead of doom scrolling, like you were saying, you grab a book. And so now you have a new habit that's more productive for who you want to be.
Yep. And I'm like, a movie on while I'm folding laundry, fine. I don't think there's any problem with that. Having some time, when you're just like, I actually am not going to do anything but be on my phone today, that's fine. But it just shouldn't be every day.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Just setting some healthy boundaries.
Yeah. Yeah. And I also heard another thing about visualizing who you want to be and becoming that person so it can attract, attract all the elements. And you had said that earlier, but I think there's a lot of truth to that. If you want to be that person, you start doing what that person would do.
Exactly.
And then that comes along with it.
So if we've ever had any doubt about our connection here, we all showed up. Absolutely nothing. And we all went a completely different direction than making a resolution.
Yeah.
That's funny.
It's pretty fascinating. Yeah. That was all on our...
We are like-minded.
We are very like-minded.
It really is, especially since we set New Year's resolutions was our topic today. Yeah. And none of us came in.
With one.
We came in with intentions, exactly. Right? I mean, I guess that's what you would call it, right, Paul? An intention? I mean, I think that's... Well, share one of yours.
Well, this might sound funny because I'm always told in certain circles that I don't talk a lot and I just listen. And I feel like I talk too much.
Not too much.
But my intention is to be more of a listener and speak, think about what I'm going to say before I say it. And I don't know. I have this thing that I don't want to be, I don't want to hurt feelings. I don't want to, do those types of things or say something off the cuff that insults somebody. I want to get better about that. I guess if that's a resolution, that might be the one we've talked about.
Yeah, it's an intention. I don't think you're ever really curt, gruff.
I also don't think you talk that much.
Well, for me, I think I do.
Well, like when we talk as like friends, I feel like you talk a normal amount, but whenever we're like in a meeting or something, I don't feel like I feel like you talk almost the least.
Paul listens a lot. Yeah. He's a listener, and then he'll interject when it's the time to say something impactful.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Versus someone that's just chattering all the time.
You know why he said it? He was like, check. Done.
Yeah. Validation.
You're like, so at the end of the year, you're like, I did do that.
I did do that.
I did.
No, but I think, with intentions come, I want to think more about what I'm doing. I think when I have intention to be better about things, I think that giving myself the time to think, we've talked about that before with customers. Don't have the answer right away. Don't respond emotionally. I'm going to try to do that in my own life and say, I don't have the best answer at the moment, or I don't have the best response right now. Give myself some time to be able to come up with that. And
I love that. It
makes us better. Better as realtors, better as partners, better as parents, better as, members of our community.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's fantastic. I love it. And in fact, we're changing the name of this episode. It was New Year Resolutions. It's going to be New Year Intentions now. So that's, changing it on the fly.
I think something that's kind of weird too is like setting the resolutions this year. I know it sounds weird to say I want to be less available, but I know this is a podcast for our job.
Yeah.
But your job should not be your entire life. And it very much is mine. And I don't love that. So that's.
But putting your phone down to enjoy dinner with your family, or to take 20 minutes to go out to your garden to do a few chores and then come back in refreshed is not going to be a consequence to any of your customers or clients. That's not going to happen.
It was an eye-opening moment for me this year. I went and showed something on the day of my grandpa's funeral.
Yeah.
And that client fired me because my flight got delayed the next month.
Oh,
and I couldn't do a showing.
Oh, that's
it was
bitter.
one day later.
Right.
And I'd been showing him stuff for about a year. And I was like, you know what? I should have been with my family.
That's right.
I should not have been doing that anyways. So it was actually a really good, eye-opening moment for me. And of course, he didn't know that. I didn't tell him,
Sure.
But so it's a boundary that needs to happen.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. That's a healthy thing to recognize for sure. So
you can still do an amazing job for people and take care of yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely. Well, mine's going to be smile more. I don't
How's that going to help the world?
No, seriously. My children, I notice with my children, I get so serious when I'm at home because I just get, it's that balancing act. Like I'm driven, I'm trying to do things. And then before I know it, Ron's like, hey, like smile. And I'm like, am I not smiling? I said, I think I'm smiling. And she's like, you're not smiling.
That's interesting to hear because I feel like you're a very positive, smiley person.
I am. But when I get home,
you're in your safe, comfortable space.
And I'm not thinking about that. So, I want to smile more. I want my children to remember that I'm smiling all the time, laughing.
That's good.
I have one thing too is like, where do you give your energy? Like when you get home, do you have the energy to give your family that they deserve? Like, are you giving them the amount of energy they need?
Yeah.
So I think a lot of times we put too much energy in work and then we have nothing for home.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. Totally agree. That's what I'm saying by wanting a better marriage. It's not that my marriage is bad, but I neglect it. Mm-hmm. I neglect my home. I neglect my family. I put work first, and put your energy where it matters.
Yep.
Well, I love it. And we're running out of time. Gosh, we didn't even get to speed round or the Lions Pride or anything. It's fascinating to sit and talk with my partners here about cool things like intentions. So if you are in the goal mode, put your goals down and set some intentions. Think about who you are as an individual, what you want to become, and be intentful with that. And I think that's actually, to me, I'm really excited about that because I don't have a deadline. I don't have metrics to meet. I'm just becoming more intentional with who I am. And that's powerful, very powerful. So if you like our content, please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We've got great content going on that all the time. We have TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Jump on our Facebook page, like our Facebook page because we're always posting relevant content. And of course, go to sjcbroker.com and schedule an appointment with any one of us here, whether you're buying or selling, residential or commercial. the Lyons Group can give you an advantage in today's market. Thank you for listening to this episode of The Den. Until next time, we'll see you then.
Thank you for listening to The Den, powered by the Lyons Group. Hit the subscribe button to keep informed on real estate happenings. If you'd like to learn more about the Lyons Group, visit sjcbroker.com. Complex markets require complex strategies. The Lyons Group can give you a true advantage in any market. Whether you're buying or selling, residential or commercial, contact us directly at sjcbroker.com. We're time-tested experts with a client-first approach, and we'll see you next time in The Den.